what if I can show you what your inventory may look like 2 weeks from now? Okay. Are you going to have clean inventory? You're going to have an aging issue. What is your situation going to look like if nothing changes? So, as you know, we have the Lotpop software where we help dealerships manage inventory and lead management, combining their inventory management tool, BenQ, vAuto, ACV Max, Dealers Link, whatever inventory management tool you have, Inventory Plus. We take that data and then we combine it with your CRM data, Dealer Socket, eLeads, Drive Centric, VIN solution. We take that data and we put it together and we help you manage your inventory. But before I forget all that, we've been doing also, we do weekly calls and we help you. Really, I feel like we're not doing you justice unless I can help you get ahead of things, right? It's one thing to look at where we're at and what mistakes and what areas we're doing good and bad and by looking backwards. But really what I want to do is help you look forward, because that one-day-old car, right, next month, 2 months from now, it will be your 60-day-old car. So what can I do to help you position your 5-day, your 13, your 40-day-old car, position it better so it's not adding to an aging problem? So we like to peek around the corner. And so I figured, man, if I can look 2 weeks back and see how things are going, because that's what we like to do here. We don't look at a rolling 30 days of sales history. I like to look at your last 2 weeks. That gives me more current flow. And then what am I doing in the last 2 weeks? Let's say you're selling 50 units. Well, if you stay at that 2-week pace of 50 units, if I times that by 2, it gives me a full 4 weeks or a month. If I'm at 50 units in the last 2 weeks, I'll be on pace for 100 for a month. So I'm peeking backwards to kind of see what I'm going to look like forward. And so with all of our charts tracking what we've done in the last 2 weeks, I said, man, what if I can show you what you're going to look like 2 weeks from now? If nothing changes, boom, what would this inventory look like 2 weeks forward? So that's what we've done. We just inserted it into our tool this week. I'm going to show you what it looks like for a particular dealer I was on a call with. And again, we're going to be playing around with this. We're going to be able to take that chart and show you what's my franchise versus non-franchise look like. What is my trades versus purchases going to look like going forward? Are my purchases and moving in the right direction? Are my trades, bleeding through? I'm too proud, too long. Same with franchise versus not. Even certified. If you do a certified program, we're going to be able to project that moving forward and say, okay, where are we sitting on this inventory? So that's the deeper element that we be able to provide, is not only, again, projecting you looking forward, but looking back. So what I want to do, though, is kind of show you what's around the corner when it comes to let me do this. I'm going to share a screen. I've done these market reports looking at shopper indexes and everything previously. So this is a repeat. This is what I want to tell you, though. This is, again, this is what people actively looking for used cars. We track that. And then we look at our dealers' 2-week sales volume. So just real quick, I want to show you historically, again, back in 2021, in February, March range, the shopper index to peak, okay? And then by the end of March, our dealers' sale rate peaked. They're selling 60% of their inventory, again, in 2 weeks. That means times 2. They're going to sell 120% of their inventory. But what happens by April, okay, shopper index goes from a 94 down to an 81, okay, within 30 days. All right, so the shopper index, what does that drop? 1594, 13%. Well, what happened to our dealers' volume around that same time? Okay, you run into here by the 24th, it goes to 50%. That's down 10% in 2 weeks. That means dealers' volume drops 20% in a month. Okay, so we know that was 2021. Let's look at 2022. Again, a peak in shopper index come March around 77. And then by April, it's down to 60. That is a 17% drop in 30 to 40 days. And our dealers' volume went from 49%, okay, down into 43, right? So we get a little bit 6%, but that's a 12% drop in volume. You go back to 2023, we get this February peak. Okay, by March 4th, dealers selling 58% of their inventory. By mid-April, 58 goes to 47. That's 11% drop, or 22% for the month. And then it gets down to 43% by mid-May, 2 months from now. So that one-day-old car is going to be 60 days old, okay, by May 16th. Do I want to still own that car when the market and volume has dropped 15% in 2 weeks, so 30% for the month? You go back into Just last year, okay, February was the peak. Our dealers' volume hit on 3.5, okay, and they're selling 56% of their inventory. And by mid-April, it was down to 44, so 12% drop. So my point is, we're looking at the shopper index right now, and I can already see a little bit of cap in volume here. So we'll just see where that happens. But I'm going to tell you, if by in a month from now, I bet this drops about 10%. Okay, so prove me wrong, but that's just happens year after year. This is only the last 4 years. I gone back 10 years in this data, and it's still the same. So if you notice that, let me kind of show you this inventory that I want positioning. So again, talking to this dealer, what we're looking at, their overall volume is decent. They're about, just on March 10th, they were selling 65 units in 2 weeks. That would put them on pace to sell 130 with 133 in stock. Now, what I'll tell you, our average dealer right now, this is telling you, our average dealer right now is selling 55%. That's our average across the board. If they got 100, they're going to sell 110. So yes, as that dealer's volume, see their gray line here, that's their 2 week sales, their volume's going up. So they feel pretty positive. Their volume's up. They're feeling good. And matter of fact, if you look at their inventory, 72% of that inventory is fresh. Okay. So again, that looks good. The areas, though, when you look and dig, their volume is starting to stop and drop off a little bit in some of these. We're not selling enough fresh cars. We got 72% sitting there, but only pushing out 59%. So that's how we've looked over the last 2 weeks. If I did the math here again, let's just say for 0 to 15. No, let's go to 16 to 30 because that's going to be the outliner that I want to show you. 16 to 30, they got 46 units. Last 2 weeks, they've sold 16, puts them on pace to sell 32. So if nothing changes, we got 14 units that could pass on to the next bucket. So see this chart, it ends as of today, March 14th. So I'm in a meeting call with them and I say, hey man, I know things feel good. I know right now you're going to the auction, you're paying up for cars, probably because everybody else's volume's up and everybody else needs cars too. And so they're stepping up on cars and they're hard to find right now. And so the last thing you want to do is aggressively price a 10-day-old car in a situation where we got good volume and we're selling cars and they're actually going for a little bit more money right now as customers are buying. But here's my point. That 10-day-old car, if you do not sell it, okay, 2 weeks from now, 30 days from now, will you want to own this car? 45 days from now, will you want to own this car if the market drops 10 to 20% like it has in the last 10 years rolling into April after tax season's over? I would not. So basically, again, most of our charts right now, or all of them, you could go franchise, look at franchise, look at non, look at trades versus purchases. All these numbers kind of change. When I look at overall options, let me go back to overall options. See these buckets here, again, 46 units on pace to sell 32, but how are my non-franchise doing? Okay, same thing. Okay, if I look at my franchise in those bucket, we're breaking even. And if I look at my trades in those buckets, I'm 11 heavy. But if I look at my purchases, I'm only 3 heavy. So really, right now, they're non-franchise, okay, and trades are actually kind of that radar. But anyways, as I go into just this carry chart, my point to them is saying, hey guys, if you don't want to change anything, if everything stays the way we're doing it right now, let me show projection where you're going to be. Okay. Again, here's your units. Watch this. When I hit projection, boom. Now all of a sudden, let's go to today's date. Today's date is the 14th. And why I want to point this out, remember, I picked on 16 to 30 because right now, if they're 14 units off pace, okay, if we continue to grow at that pace and or look at 16 to 30, we got 46 units. And so if we continue at this pace, what's going to happen is a lot of those 16 to 30 are going to add to your 31 to 45 in 2 weeks from now. Right now, I have 15 units in 31 to 45. I might not be worried about it. But guess what? If I don't sell out, that is going to jump up to 46 units. So my point is on this is like, do we want to, as of today, just hold out on these 16 to 30, hope we sell them? Okay, which you may. Again, the right cars will. But that's 20% of your inventory. What I mean by that, that rare car, that oddball that everybody's looking for, those cars will move. But if you got little Nissan Rogues and I forgot what kind of store this is, but if you happen to have just those, Ford Focus, Escapes, Edges, and Altimas and whatever sitting in these F-150s and Silverados, these abundance of cars, are those the cars you just want to roll the dice and hope that you sell them, or do you want them to dump into this 31 to 45? Because as we know, by day 30, you're starting to lose money on cars. Okay, so we're starting to lose money, and so do I want to own this car? So yeah, in the click of a button, I can see what your future is going to look like and say, hey guys, if you don't want to do these decisions right now, it's fine. It's up to you. But if nothing changes from our current path, this is what your inventory is going to look like 2 weeks from now. Is that what you want to do? So I'm going to stop screeching. So I think that's an awesome way to look at that inventory, because again, we get a lot of pushback when we try to challenge dealers to stay ahead. We're going to peek around the corner, guys, and this is what the corner looks like. And I'm telling you, after 20 years of helping inventory management, I know what's going to happen in April, May, and June. Okay, I can see it happening in the tea leaves. They're there. The data is there to show you this. So it's good. It's what I call a false positive. Volume's up. Okay. Customers are coming in paying a little bit extra for money cars. They're moving fast. And I look at the lane and cars are selling at the lane. They're going for stupid money and high dollar stuff. Day supply is low because we're now, 3 weeks into this turn cycle. And so we got fast moving cars going for high dollars at the lane, and I can't buy anything, and I got good volume. And so it feels very positive right now. But if you don't look 2 to 3 to 4 weeks in ahead, it's a false negative or false positive. I feel positive, but it could lead you to some false and some negative results about 4 weeks from now. And so that 10-day-old car is going to be 40 days old 30 days from now when that market drops 10, 15%. So if you want to see how we can help you store, go to lotwalk.com, sign up for a demo. I'm doing the demos, okay? I want to be able to make sure we explain the situation, what projections and hopes that we have for your inventory. So if you want to do a demo, have me reevaluate your inventory, talk cars, go to lotwalk.com. I hope this was helpful. Have a great weekend.